now.
MJ, he's been playing phenomenal. A lot of people wanted to see him excel and how he was going to progress coming into this season. He's definitely been a much better pocket passer, more accurate down the football field, making better decisions, taking what the defense have given him. And of course, we know he can rush it, but his big play ability has gotten even better under Brian Daboll, the offensive coordinator. Now, they're 11-3. They've clinched the AFC East, and they're in the playoffs. That hasn't happened in 25 years. So what Josh Allen is doing with the Buffalo Bills is special, and I only continue to see him get better and better.
I love to see it. What do you say we reveal another 8 starters? Here now, the 2021 Pro Bowlers who have been chasing down QBs like Josh Allen all year long.
2021 Pro Bowl defensive linemen.
If the Browns fulfill their playoff destiny, they may have Myles Garrett to thank. This dominating defensive end has made the Pro Bowl for the 2nd time, having racked up 11 sacks and 16 quarterback hits this season. Congrats to him. Former Ohio State Buckeye Joey Bosa is a Pro Bowler for the 3rd time in 5 seasons. The Chargers defensive end is 2nd in the NFL with 27 quarterback hits, and he's 3rd in tackles for loss with 15 on the year. The first AFC tackle spot goes to Kansas City Chiefs' Chris Jones. Jones earned his 2nd Pro Bowl selection in 5 years. He's put points on the board this season, recording a safety, and he's also gotten to the quarterback 24 times, 4th most in the NFL. You can see the other tackle on the field in Cincy tonight. Pittsburgh's Cameron Hayward earns a spot for the 4th time in 10 years. His 42 tackles leads all of the frontline Pro Bowlers, and he's the only AFC D-line starter with an interception on his resume this season. On the NFC side, Rams star Aaron Donald is becoming a permanent fixture on the Pro Bowl roster. He can now claim 7 selections. His 12.5 sacks this season, marking the 4th season in a row Donald has racked up more than 10. Not surprising for him. The other big man in the NFC middle is Fletcher Cox. The Eagles' defensive tackle is on this list for the 6th straight time with 40 tackles, 6.5 sacks, and 9 quarterback hits. Come on, Fletcher couldn't be denied this year. NFL Network and fan favorite Cameron Jordan is also a 6-time Pro Bowler now. The Saints defensive end, one of only 6 players with 45 tackles, 15 quarterback hits, and 10 tackles for loss this season. Full-on beast. And rounding out the D-line starters in the NFC is Pro Bowl first-timer Brandon Graham. His 7 sacks and 12 tackles for loss both lead Philly this season. Congrats to the first-time Pro Bowler. The rest of your Pro Bowl defensive linemen right here for you in the NFC. Rookie Chase Young with 5.5 sacks, making the Pro Bowl in his 1st season with the Washington football team. And on the inside of the D-line, Atlanta's Grady Jarrett making his 2nd Pro Bowl in his career. In the AFC, at defensive end, Kansas City's Frank Clark with his 2nd Pro Bowl, nod thanks to 5 sacks and 12 QB hits this season. And interior lineman Calais Campbell with his 6th Pro Bowl appearance in his 13-year career. I love that guy. Willie, let's get started here talking about defensive end Myles Garrett, who, by the way, despite missing 2 games with COVID-19, still has 11 sacks, and he's been a pivotal part of the Browns' 10-4 record.
Yeah, he's a rare beast, and I had an opportunity to work with him a couple of off seasons. And can I tell you about, I hope he has a convertible, because there is no ceiling for this young man. It's rare to find a guy with his size, with his ability, his athleticism, that is explosive, that's extremely strong at the point, long, very long arms. He creates separation. His bend is exceptional for a guy that's like 6'5" and over. His strength, he's one of the strongest guys playing defense. And the way that he uses his lean in his body, getting after the quarterback, I would just say that a guy like Myles Garrett is going to be in this league for a long time, but he still has not unleashed all of his talent. He is still learning the game. So I expect to be talking about this young man next year, the year after, we're going to be going for a while, at least 10.
So we haven't even seen everything
we haven't even seen what he has. He's talented.
That's scary for opposing offenses, that is. All right, let's bring in D'Angelo Hall. One thing is for sure, D. Hall, for the Washington football team, they got it right with the 2nd overall pick in Chase Young.
Yes. Oh, absolutely, MJ. When Willie talks about all of those superlatives about Myles Garrett, I just start smiling because I think about all of those plus some more with Chase Young. I mean, the kid's 6'5", 260-some pounds, runs a 4.6 40. I mean, just a super athletic type of dude, and just the way he plays the game, the motor he plays with, the willingness to just go out there and sacrifice some of his own numbers. You know, this is a kid who only has 5.5 sacks compared to a lot of the other guys who could have got a nod, but just the respect that other teams, opposing offensive linemen, opposing coordinators having to scheme against him. He gets doubled and triple teamed a lot. I get to call those Washington football games, and this kid is an absolute joy to watch. So look forward to seeing his name on this list for years and years to come as well.
He's earned every bit of that, D-Hall. All right, let's reveal the starting linebackers right now for the 2021 Pro Bowl.
2021 Pro Bowl linebackers.
Starting from the inside out, Darius Leonard gets his second Pro Bowl nod. The Colts linebacker has 109 tackles and a pair of sacks. Part man, part machine. He's averaging almost 10 tackles a game since entering the league in 2018. Another player you'll see kicking it on the field tonight, Steelers' T.J. Watt. Repping the AFC for the third time, Watt leads the NFL this season in QB hits and tackles for loss, and is the first player in Steelers history to rack up 12 sacks in 3 straight seasons. Broncos' Bradley Chubb is the other starting linebacker for the AFC. This is Chubb's first Pro Bowl selection in his 3-year career. He's the Broncos' leader this season in sacks, quarterback hits, and in tackles for loss. Good to see him on this roster. Over on the NFC side, one of the last remaining members of the Legion of Boom. The monster in the middle, Bobby Wagner, who is now a 7-time Pro Bowl selection in his 9th straight season with over 100 tackles, still getting it done. On the outside, the monster of the Midway, Khalil Mack, gets his name called for the 6th time in 7 seasons. He's in his 3rd year in Chicago and remains vicious and versatile, one of only 3 players with 8 sacks and at least 1 interception. The final starting spot goes to Za'Darius Smith, the Packers linebacker on this list for the 2nd time. Check out this stat line: 48 tackles, 22 quarterback hits, and 3 forced fumbles. It's also his 2nd straight season with more than 10 sacks. All right, let's reveal the rest of the linebackers selected for the 2021 Pro Bowl. In the NFC, the veteran Jason Pierre-Paul makes his first Pro Bowl since 2012 and his 3rd of his career. And in his 3rd season in the NFL, Niners linebacker Fred Warner getting the vote for the first time. In the AFC, Matthew Judon makes his 2nd Pro Bowl after leading the Ravens in sacks with 5 and in QB hits with 20. And Bills linebacker Tremaine Edmonds making his 2nd straight Pro Bowl. Let's bring in LaDainian Tomlinson. LT, when you look at the entire group of AFC linebackers, which do you love the most this season?
Oh, MJ, it's T.J. Watt, without question. You're talking about a guy that lives in the opponent's backfield. You know, this guy leads the league in tackle for losses. Obviously, he has 12 sacks. He's 2nd in the league in sacks. But every time you look at this guy play, he has a plethora of moves that he can put on offensive tackles to get in the backfield. He has a quick step. He's strong, long arms. And not to mention that I'm sure he learned this from his big brother, J.J. Watt.
All right, then, LT. Coach, go ahead and say it. Get it out of your system.
J.J. Watt.
There it is. All right, Coach. In the NFC, linebacker Fred Warner earned his way this season to his first ever Pro Bowl. Great locker room leader as well for Fred.
You know, MJ, 30-year player out of BYU, Fred Warner, no relation to Kurt Warner, okay? I'm just telling you that. But what a year that he had. He was the captain of that defense with the 49ers. And that's a defense that lost so many players with Bosa and Solomon, and Richard Sherman was out for a while, and Dee Ford. But he was the leader and the captain, and they were the 5th-ranked defense. 3rd-year player that really stepped up. Over 100 tackles, couple interceptions, and only 6 guys in the league can boast with those kinds of numbers. Fred Warner, he's a good guy off the field, too. We have a Down syndrome football camp. He's the first guy that signs up each year. He's a heck of a guy on and off the field. Congratulations.